Okay, so this next section is called indeterminate forms. We discussed the infinity minus infinity in the last video, but this one covers an indeterminate form called infinity divided by infinity. You might think to yourself, oh, well, that's just one, but that's not always the case. It is sometimes, but not always. Well, then it's infinity. Not always, and it's not always zero either. So we have to take it case by case. And if I can start with the idea that the highest power wins, that rule, that trick still applies here. And we're going to do a series of examples here so you can see what I'm talking about. So if I was to replace each of these x's with infinity, so I'd have infinity cubed minus 2 times infinity plus 1, and on the bottom I'd have 4 infinity cubed plus 5 times infinity minus 2. I want you to remember at the top here we have infinity minus infinity plus 1, and I hope you understand that plus 1 is minute. It really is small in comparison. So we're dealing with infinity minus infinity as we discussed in the video before. And again, hopefully you recall the fact that we talked the highest power is going to win. That can easily be illustrated with that distributive property, and hopefully I did that for you in class today because that illustrates why the highest power wins. Well, infinity cubed, of course, is the one that wins, so that means the top here is infinity, and then the bottom here we would have 4 times infinity, or rather, of course, 4 times infinity is infinity. So here we are stuck with this indeterminate form. Well, what you basically need to do, here's the trick, is for you to think about the highest power wins, yes, but what you're going to do is you're going to take the highest degree from the top and the bottom. That's step one. Then you're going to simplify and, if necessary, retry the limit. Okay, so in this case, that would mean I'm going to take the highest degree from the top, the highest degree from the bottom, and then what's going to happen is we're going to simplify. That makes that 1 over 4, and notice there's no place to put the x. The answer to that is 1/4. Let's try another one. If we, again, examine this, we'd have infinity over infinity. So I would have infinity to the 4th minus infinity plus 1. Again, this is the highest power. Infinity plus infinity minus 2. Again, highest power. So x to the 4th over 4x cubed, right? So I'm going to simplify. That leaves me with, are we good with this? That leaves me with an x on top, so I would have x over 4. Now I'm going to retry, so that'd be infinity divided by 4. So this answer is infinity. Again, notice the next example here. We have infinity over infinity, highest degree, x cubed over 4x to the 4th. We simplify, leaving you with 1 over 4x, right? And so I put in infinity, so 1 over 4 times infinity, which means it's just like 1 over infinity, which of course is 0, and it would be positive. Last one here that we got. Oh, no, I guess I got a few more. All right, 5x cubed would be the highest power. Again, we'd have infinity over infinity. So I'd have 5x cubed over x to the 4th. And so we simplify. That leaves me with 5 over x. Now I'm going to retry by putting in that infinity, and that, of course, is 0 plus. Let's do another one. Put infinity in here. I'd have infinity minus infinity, and infinity plus infinity. Again, we'd have infinity over infinity. Highest degree from the top, highest degree from the bottom. Simplify, and there's no x's, so it's just 5/2. All right, last one that we've got for an example. We have 5x cubed as our highest power. Again, we'd have infinity minus infinity on top, being infinity. 5x squared plus 3x, that'd be infinity plus infinity, so 5x squared. Are we good with this? So we simplify by realizing, oh, the 5's divide out. I'm left with just x. So plug in infinity. Sure enough, we get infinity. And that just gives you 5 examples. And hopefully today in class, you'll have noticed how the distributive law shows me that the highest power is the one that's going to win. And so if I did not, make sure that you do ask that in class the next day so that we can make sure that you understand why it is we only have to look at the highest power. And it is part of that distributive law that we looked at with splitting up these fractions, in where when you factor everything out, what is left?